I got the Mavic Pro at the beginning of 2017 and the Mavic Air at the beginning of 2018. I use them both and I love them both. They've got some fundamental differences, but they also have quite a few differences in the way they handle and fly that only become apparent after you've been using them for some time. So if you're still a bit undecided as to which one to go for, have watched of today's video because that's what I'm going to be talking about today. Hello. So I want to keep tonight's video quite short, but after months of use, as I said, there's some differences that have become apparent since I actually made my first comparison video on these two drones. As I said, I absolutely love them both, but they've got some fundamental differences, and depending on what's important to you, it could easily sway your decision as to which one you go for. Let's get the obvious differences out of the way first. Obviously the biggest one is size. The Pro and the remote is over 2/3 bigger and 2/3 heavier than the Air and the remote, making the Air a lot easier to travel around with. Don't get me wrong, if you're used to flying a Phantom, then either of them is going to appear very small and lightweight compared to what you're used to. Next up, the cameras. They're actually very similar. Same size sensor, both 12 megapixels. The Mavic Air has got a slightly smaller aperture with a focal length of 2.8 versus the Pro's 2.2, which removes the tap for focus. The Air's also got a slightly higher bit rate, 100 megabits per second. Questionable as to whether or not you'd actually notice that in your video quality. The Air does do higher frame rate at lower resolution. It manages 120 frames per second at 1080, which is better for slow motion shots. The gimbal, the redesigned gimbal under the Air is also a huge improvement. The gimbal on the Pro was the first thing to get damaged if ever you had a crash. This is far more protected by the body itself, and it's actually a far more robust gimbal as well. The remotes are also very similar as well. On the Air you can remove the joysticks and store them, which makes it a lot easier for travelling, but unfortunately you don't get the little LCD display that you get with the Pro, which is a bit of a shame, although most of that information is going to be on your phone anyway. A few other nice touches of the Air is you've got 8 gigabytes of internal memory. That's enough for around 10 minutes of 4K video. You've got USB-C, which is far faster for transferring pictures. And you also have rear obstacle avoidance sensors, which is in addition to what the Mavic Pro has forward and downwards. And finally, of course, you also have the Air's quickshots, like Boomerang and Asteroid. They're more fun than useful, but they are good fun. So that's most of the hard specs for you. Now I wanted to talk about some of the things I've noticed over the last few months using both of them. First off is the range. The Mavic Pro is absolutely solid, up to about 4 miles. You hardly ever suffer any signal dropouts. I'm afraid you cannot say the same for the Air. I myself did a long range test and got up to almost 2 kilometers, 1.5 miles earlier on. But it has to be said that in congested areas, if you're near buildings and towns, you will suffer signal interference, and I've had a few flights that I've actually had to abort because the interference was so bad. This is solely down to the fact that the Pro uses something called OcuSync for its transmission, whereas the Air uses enhanced Wi-Fi. That unfortunately isn't as powerful and is far more prone to interference. Other big difference, of course, is the battery life. On the Air, you're going to be getting return to home warnings after just 15 minutes. And that really caught me out when I first started flying with the Air. I was kicking myself for not buying the combo. You're going to need spare batteries, so factor those in as well when you make your purchase. The Pro, on the other hand, will easily get you 22-23 minutes before you start getting that return to home warning. So again, it's nice to have a spare battery, but it's not quite as important with the Pro. Noise is another thing that you need to consider. The Mavic Pro, even with platinum props, does manage to reduce the noise or the perceived noise a little bit, whereas the Air is a return to that whiny, buzzy, wasp-like droning noise, which is a bit of a shame. One of the biggest advantages of the Air that's hardly mentioned anywhere though is how it handles breezy and windy conditions. The Air really feels fast and nippy as you're flying it, and this is actually down to how it handles its tilt and the fact that it actually turns off the obstacle avoidance sensors to allow it to tilt even further. Air users will often see the message "attitude too large, sensors turned off." That's simply because it is pitching itself really steep so it can fly fast in the wind. The Pro, on the other hand, decides to leave the sensors switched on, and it actually restricts the amount of tilt it has, which is great, but unfortunately that will actually slow down the Pro in strong winds to the point where it's actually almost going backwards. Flicking the Pro into sports modes does disable the sensors and it lets it fly faster into the wind. But many users don't like sports mode and may not have even enabled it in the app. And you do hear many stories of how new flyers are panicking as their Pro fails to handle wind. So for someone starting out, the Air may well actually provide a better flying experience and give you less problems. So what can you take away from all of this to help you make your mind up? Well, as I said before, if you're starting out, the Air really is a fantastic drone. It's going to give you everything you need for many years. It handles the wind better, it's easier to travel around with, it's better for slow motion shots and has a better protected gimbal. But if you do get the Air, you've got to be ready for the occasional signal dropout, shorter range and shorter battery life. So as said, if range and flight time are your biggest factors, then you really do need to go for the Pro. Its rock steady signal will never let you down. You're going to get fantastic range up to at least 3 or 4 miles. The downside, of course, is that in comparison to the Air, it is bigger and it does feel a lot heavier. So anyway, I hope that's made sense for some of you. If you look up there or down there somewhere, there'll be links to some of the tests I've done, the test videos I've done on both the Pro and the Air. So again, you can go into more detail and work out exactly what's important to you. As ever, if you like these videos, give it a little thumbs up. If you didn't like the video, give it a thumbs down and let me know what I did wrong. But either way, until next time, have fun, happy flying. Cheers.